Hello and welcome to class 571. All right, let's continue where we left off yesterday. Let's go on or let's continue. En este caso me gusta más continue. Siempre que lo pronuncies bien, ¿eh? Continue, new, color new, continue. Let's continue where we left off, off con doble F. Let's continue where we left off yesterday. Oh yeah, Richard, but where did we leave off yesterday? We left off on number 3, vocabulary, list number 31, page 117. Number 3, tapa o cubierta, to tapa, una tapa. Yes, una tapa. Yeah, this is a cover, to cover. It's not a very good cover. I need a better cover. All right, a cover es como el verbo cubrir, to cover. Ahora, la tapa de una botella is the cap, como gorra de béisbol, por ejemplo, baseball cap. También el casquete polar is the polar ice cap. O sea, la gorra de hielo polar. Sounds good, eh? The polar ice cap. O una tapa, con tapón de botella, tapa. The polar ice cap. The polar ice cap. Cap. But esto es cover, a cover. Cliente, customer. Sí, no. Customer. Customer es cliente de un producto físico tangible. Client es el comprador o cliente de un servicio intangible. Yes, client. Customer and client. Entusiasta, como adjetivo, enthusiastic. Enthusiast, como sustantivo. Se dice en inglés, él es un entusiasta del béisbol, que le encanta. He loves baseball. He's an enthusiast. Pero aquí, enthusiastic. Y se usa bastante en inglés. En español suena raro. Soy entusiasta por el béisbol. I'm enthusiastic about the possibilities. Me ilusiona muchísimo las posibilidades de esto. You know, if we continue after program 600, program 601, 2, 3, 4 is going to be incredible. Because I have so much, the entire language. I'm enthusiastic about the possibilities. I'm enthusiastic. Probably in Spanish estoy muy ilusionado ante las posibilidades. The book was upside down. All right. So, fever. It's interesting that creo que tengo un poco de fiebre. The British, I think, they usually say temperature. Tengo un poco de temperatura. Y dicen temperature. Temperature. To take your temperature is tomarte la temperatura, se dice así. You have a fever. Everybody's got the fever. Hay una canción. There's a classic from early rock. You know fever? Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know. Fever isn't such a bad thing. Fever started long time ago. You give me fever. That's fiebre, baby. Nena dice. You give me fever, yeah. Fever. Richard, when was the last time you had a fever? I don't remember. 7 years ago? 10 years ago? I don't remember the last time I had a fever. Yeah. Here we say a slight fever. You say, creo que tengo décimas. Sí, sí, no, décimas. Tenths. Okay. We say just a slight, leve fiebre, ligera, a slight fever. Yeah. Fiebre es femenino, no? La fiebre. Okay, good. I'll say. And so I never know in English and Spanish, masculine and feminine. Fever. All right. Pasillo is hallway. Bueno, pasillo, there are 3 words. Un pasillo. Corridor, hall, and hallway. Now, which is the most common? In the United States, hall, in the hall. You see, when I was in primary school, when I was a little boy, maybe 6 years old or 7 years old, I was in first grade or in second grade. If a student was behaving badly, the teacher told the student, sit in the corner. And the student had to go to the corner, and there was a stool, like the stool, and the student had to sit in the corner for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. If the student behaved, si se portaba mal, if the student behaved badly, sit in the hall, sit in the corner. Now, if the student behaved really badly, the teacher said, go out to the hall, stand in the hall, stand in the hall. And I remember once, apparently, I was a bad boy in the class. I was 6 years old in first grade, and Mrs. Day, la señorita Dia, Mrs. Day, said, Ricky, go out, stand in the hall. And so I got up and I went out into the hall. Now, in that school, it was a big school, and the hall was enormous and very, very long. You can't see the end of the hall. It's very, 200 meters. It was a big, and about maybe 3 or 4 meters wide and maybe 100 meters long. It was a big hall. And everybody was in class, so nobody was in the hall. The hall was completely empty. Nobody. And I was standing in the hall. I was 6 years old. And in the distance, I saw a figure come out and start walking in my direction. It was the principal, el director del colegio. I was standing in the hall, 6 years old, and the principal was coming. Mr. Hood, I remember, el señor capó, como capó de coche. Mr. Hood, o capucha, Mr. Hood. And I was standing in the hall, and he was maybe 50 meters away, slowly walking in my direction. And finally, he reached me and says, hi, what's your name? I said, my name's Richard Vaughan. Why are you in the hall? I said, well, I was talking too much in class. Then, next time don't talk so much, okay? Okay. And he continued walking. That was my experience with authority, la autoridad. La autoridad competente. The competent authority, all right. Just standing in the hall. In the hall. Claro, hall también se usa como el recibidor de una casa. Entrance hall. Y luego el uso clásico de hall como salón de actos, things like that. The hall of fame, el pasillo, se dice el corredor de la fama o el pasillo de la fama, the hall of fame. The dining hall, se dice a veces para el salón o el comedor cuando es una gran sala, the dining hall. Pero a diario en Estados Unidos usamos hall para el pasillo y en Canadá. Hallway también, perfectly correct. And corridor is the Latin equivalent, corredor. And so, corridor. So to remember corridor is always correct. In the corridor, in the hall. Pero yo digo hall. I never say any other word. Titulares de prensa, headlines. Head, cabeza, líneas, headlines. To read the headlines. Ignorante, ignorant. Yes. Are you ignorant of certain things? I don't know. The current cultural situation in Djibouti, I think I'm ignorant of that. The current situation in Bhutan concerning the royal family, I'm ignorant of that. I'm not familiar. No estoy familiarizado con la situación de la familia real de Bhutan. You know where Bhutan is? No? Bhutan is a monarchy, a small country in the Himalaya. You see, you have India, Nepal, Tibet, which is part of China now. Next to Nepal, in the Brahmaputra, the river, you have Bhutan. And Bhutan is a very, very closed society, very conservative. And the king of Bhutan is very authoritarian, casi tirano, almost a tyrant. All right, I think. All right, that's Bhutan. But I'm ignorant of these things. I'm not familiar. No estoy familiarizado con. I'm not familiar with. Ignorante, ignorant. Juez, judge. The judge. Richard, would you like to be a judge? No. I would not like to be a judge. Why not? Because it's not an interesting job in my opinion. Important job, yes. But not, would you like to be a judge? Yes? No, she wouldn't. Marta says she wouldn't like to be a judge either. So neither one of us would like to be a judge. She wouldn't like to be a judge, and neither would I. I wouldn't like to be a judge, and neither would she. Neither Marta nor I would like to be a judge. Judge, judge, judge. Jota, en inglés, judge, casi como una che al final. Sonido de che. Judge, claro, escrito. Judge, the judge. The judge and the jury, juez y jurado. The judge and the jury. All right. Judge. Cuero, leather, leather. My belt is made of leather. My belt is made of nothing else. There's nothing on this table made of leather, Marta. No, nothing. There's nothing made. Only my belt. The only thing, and my shoes. My shoes are made of leather. Marta's no. Marta's wearing tennis shoes. She's wearing high tops. High tops are very popular now for women, girls. High tops means playeras o zapatillas de tenis que suben un poquito por alrededor del tobillo. That's high tops. High tops. And it's very popular now. Man, it's a good business selling tennis shoes. Tennis shoes. Yo creo que los británicos dicen something else for tennis. I say tennis shoes. Tennis shoes. Zapatillas de tenis. Tennis shoes. Here you say zapatillas, you say playeras, and some other words I can't remember. Sneakers. The British, I think, say sneakers. Escrito sneakers. Sneakers. And the Americans do sometimes, sneakers. All right. Tennis shoes. Juez, cuero, leather. Un juez de cuero, a leather judge. Leather. Desordenado, messy. Yeah. Como Leo Messi, no? This table is messy. Yeah. Yeah. It's a messy table. Marta Kim says, Dios mío. It's a messy table. All right. Well, the table is messy. What should I do? Should I clean it up? Should I tidy up the table? Should I tidy it up? Pero con clean up no significa limpieza, de lavar ni limpiar. To clean is limpiar. Hay que limpiar la mesa. Okay. But to clean up is ir ordenando y limpiando por ordenación. Okay, to clean up. So I'm going to clean up the table. It's a mess. This table is a mess. My God. All right. Who was the teacher before me? All right. Who left the table in a mess. It's a very messy table. Let's clean up the table. All right. Let's tidy up the table. All right. And put everything back. Put everything back where it's supposed to be. The books are supposed to be like that. And the pencils are supposed to be like that. Right? And the cup is supposed to be over there, not here. The cup is supposed to be next to the cup. Fíjate, it's supposed to be. Se supone que debe estar. Se usa muchísimo como, tiene que estar ahí. O debe estar ahí. Esto es aquí. Okay, the cup is supposed to be over there. Really? Well, if the cup is supposed to be over there, then I'll move it. Like that, right? Is that okay? All right. Now everything is where it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm supposed to be here in the middle, the center of your attention, right? That's where I'm supposed to be. Desordenado, messy. Como Leo Messi, pero con Y al final. Messy, messy, messy. Tiburón, shark. Hey, Richard, have you ever had an encounter with a shark? No. But once I was in Bonita Springs. Manantiales, bonitos, bonita Springs in Florida, but on the other side of Florida, on the Gulf Coast. You see, Florida is a peninsula. On one side is the Atlantic, on the other side is the Gulf of Mexico. So I was in the Gulf of Mexico, and I was on a beach. There was nobody. The beach was for me. And so I went into the water, up to here, and I saw the fin. You know, the water, the fin of a shark. And it was about 10 meters from me. It was pretty close. And so I turned around, running, no, but walking assertively back out. And two girls were walking by on the beach. And they said to me, don't worry, it's a dolphin. Don't worry, it's delfín. Es el pez que siempre pierde, ¿no? El que termina el último, el delfín. Okay. And so they said, don't worry, it's a dolphin. And I look back and you can see the fin was a little bit round. The fin is la aleta. The fin was a little bit round. So I learned to distinguish, to tell the difference between a shark and a dolphin. All right. So sharks. All right. Disparos is shot. He oído un disparo. I heard a shot. A shot in the dark. Un disparo en la oscuridad. A shot in the dark means una posibilidad muy remota de ser posible. It's a shot in the dark. Yes. El que el Recreativo de Huelva puede ganar a Liverpool, it's a shot in the dark. You understand? It's a shot in the dark. All right. Shot. I heard a shot. Shoot, also shot is el pasado. Disparé contra la pared. I shot the wall. I shot. Me han disparado. They shot me. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Gambas. Hombre. Gambas in Estados Unidos. Shrimp. Difficult to pronounce, eh? Shrimp. The British say prawns. In America, we say prawns for langostinos, shrimp for gambas, and prawns for langostinos. I think the British say prawns for prawns. P-R-A-W-N, prawn. A-O-W-N, prawn. For everything. But it's interesting, fish, pez, pescado y marisco, in every country it's different. For example, in Mexico, camarones, gambas son camarones. Mientras en España, camarones son gambitas muy pequeñas, camarones. All right. It's always different. Yeah. You have bogavante, langostina. It's just different. Langosta. But shrimp, in America, shrimp. Richard, do you like shrimp? Yes, I do. I like shrimp. Yes. Algo así como? Something like. You know, it's something like. Es algo así como una persona alta. Something like. It's something like. Me sale un buen ejemplo. I can't get a good example of this one. Es algo así como un pez, pero no es pez. It's something like a fish, but it's not a fish. But it's something like a fish. Well, what is it? I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. It's something like a fish. All right. Espía, spy. Hey, Richard, yeah. Have you ever worked as a spy? No. I've never worked as a spy. However, in the late 1970s, a teacher worked for me. Yeah, a teacher worked for me who was convinced I was a spy. He thought I was working for the CIA, que era miembro de la CIA. He told me later, 10 years later, he said, you know, I was convinced you were a spy. And I said, why? And he said, because you, working as an English teacher, it didn't seem, he said, you, only as an English teacher? He thought my job as an English teacher was a cover. Cover, como cubrir otra vez. Cover, como una tapadera. He thought my job, my activity as an English teacher was simply a cover. And that really, I was a spy. But I'm not. I'm not a spy. I'm not here. I'm not a member of the CIA. Yes, sir. I'm not a spy. Trust me, I'm an English teacher. I didn't do that. Say, ¿Este está aquí? All right. As an American spy. All right. Spy. Spy. Fíjate la S. Spy. Spy. A spy. Un espía. A spy. All right, a spy. Tecnología es technology. Escrito technology. Technology. Al ser palabra de origen griego, la che, la CH, se pronuncia como una K. Como química, chemistry. No es chemistry, it's chemistry. Esta palabra es de origen griego, directamente saltaron latín. Chemistry. Tecnología, technology. Motivar is to motivate. My job is to motivate you to work hard to improve your English. That's my job. My job, more than technical as a teacher, my job is motivational with a style of teaching that makes English more attractive. And this is true. The technical aspect of teaching is important and very interesting. But more important is the ability to make the language attractive for you. And the only way to make English attractive is for me to present an attractive atmosphere that makes it stimulating and attractive. That's the teacher's job. El que aprende es el alumno. Yo no puedo aprenderte inglés, es que no puedo. Puedo enseñarte inglés. Pero el que resuelve el tema eres tú. Claro, yo soy el catalizador. Me compete a mí hacer que te enamores de mí como profesor y luego a colación te enamoras del inglés. Y ya, la mitad de la batalla ganada already because of the motivation. To motivate. Agradar o complacer is to please. Please me. Por favor, compláceme. Please me. Oh, yeah. That was the first important song by the Beatles. The first song was Love Me Do. Love me do. You know I love you. Okay, that was the first. But it didn't reach number one. The first song in 1963 in Great Britain that reached number one was, por favor, agrádame, compláceme. Please me, to please. Y se usa mucho. Especially, es imposible complacer a todo el mundo todo el tiempo. It's impossible to please everyone all the time. It's impossible to please everyone. Ahora, la expresión I'm pleased with, or I'm very pleased with, estoy muy contento con los resultados, o contigo. I'm very pleased. Estoy muy contento, bien con el esfuerzo que has hecho. I'm very pleased. Como decir, pleased to meet you, glad to meet you. I'm very pleased. Se usa muchísimo. I'm very pleased. Muy satisfecho is pleased. Please. All right. Separar is to separate. Separar el trigo de la paja. To separate the wheat from the chaff. Curiosa palabra, chaff. Es lo que se queda de la espiga de trigo. The chaff. To separate the wheat from the chaff. Chaff, como suena con doble F al final. Chaff. To separate the wheat from the chaff. To separate. Están separados. They are separated. Se van a separar. They're going to separate. Como verbo. Separate. Ahora, separate. Enviar mercancías, to ship, como barco, to ship. Voy a enviar estos mercancías a Barcelona. I'm going to ship, aunque no implique barco. Puede ser por tren, avión, to ship. O por camión. By ship, by a truck. You're going to ship it. We will ship the machinery to your factory. To ship. All right. Where are we? To ship. Enviar mercancías, to ship. Melodía, tune. Bueno, también melody. It's interesting. You remember the old cartoons, dibujos de los años 50. Decía Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes. Melodías locas. Looney de lunático. Looney Tunes was one brand, una marca de dibujos. Daffy Duck y estos. Another was Merry Melodies, Felices Melodías. Merry como Merry Christmas, Merry Melodies. So we had Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. Tune, escrito tune. Cuando viene a España, dice, ¿has visto la tuna? La tuna. Sí, se cantan en los mesones. Yo pensaba que estaba conectado con la palabra melodía, tune. Pero no, it's different. Los tunos, un tuno, la tuna. So the tune, it's a tune. Yeah, what is a very catchy tune? A catchy tune. Yeah, una melodía pegadiza. I don't know. You know that tune? It's a catchy tune. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, he went to town riding on his pony. He stuck a feather, una pluma, in his cap, su gorreo, y lo llamó macaroni, and called it stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps and keep the girls handy. And with the girls be handy. Se me olvida, eh? And with the girls be handy. All right. It's a very old song. Yankee Doodle. Es que en inglés la palabra Yankee no es despectiva. Aquí un poco, un yankee. But no. If you say Yankee to an American, it's not despective. It's not despective. Yankee. The New York Yankees, the baseball team. Melodías, tune or melody. Y por último, riqueza o patrimonio, wealth. A wealthy person. See you tomorrow.